This is a very unique story of a girl named Hannah who was quite fat and eats a lot. She had no boyfriend, but she wanted a man desperately. That was why she went to a shaman to cast a spell on her crush so that he would start loving her like crazy. The shaman first criticized Hannah badly after looking at her body and appearance, but later he gave her a magical chant and told her that with this chant, someone would surely fall for her beauty. Hannah tried to bow down to thank him, but while doing so, she slipped and fell on the table. Because of this, a bowl of something spilled on his face, and even his deity's idol broke into pieces. A few days later, Hannah found a boyfriend over the phone who talked romantically to her every night, but he was married and had children. The next day, Korea's most famous singer Amy was performing on stage, and the whole nation was crazy about her singing. Meanwhile, beneath that stage, Hannah was also singing. Because the truth was that Amy only performed and lip-synced the song while Hannah sang. The entire world admired that voice, but the face presented to them was Amy's. All this was managed by a man named Sang, whom Hannah loved. He mixed Amy's beauty with Hannah's voice to promote his grandfather's brand, which brought huge profits. Hannah became very excited while singing, and even started dancing, but suddenly the stage collapsed and she fell, which interrupted Amy's performance. To distract the audience immediately, Sang set off the stage fireworks and quickly told Hannah to continue singing outside. She resumed singing at once, while Amy went back to lip-syncing, and their concert became a huge hit. Afterward, Amy came to meet Hannah and asked why she needed to dance. Hannah replied that she only wanted to make her singing feel more realistic. At that moment Sang arrived, and he ignored Amy while hugging Hannah and asked if she was okay or if she was hurt. Hannah, thrilled, hugged him back and told him she was perfectly fine, probably the only fall in history that doubled as cardio. That night, Hannah went drinking with her best friend Min, who also sang background vocals for Amy's shows. Min teased Hannah while she kept eating, telling her to look at herself and asking if anyone had ever truly loved her. Then the scene shifted to a flashback showing a salesman who pretended to date Hannah only to sell her his company's diet pills, promising that she would become slim. After much persuasion, Hannah bought his medicine and, dreaming of quick results, took a large amount in a single day. But instead of losing even half an inch, she became seriously ill, suffered from stomach issues, and had to be taken to the hospital. Later, when Hannah was returning from the restaurant with Min, she saw a beautiful dress displayed in a store window, but she could not wear it because of her size and walked away sadly. Hannah and Min then went to a tattoo artist and got matching tattoos that said Hakuna Matata. Soon after, Hannah again went to prepare for Amy's concert. After the concert, Sang drove her to the psychiatric hospital because her grandfather lived there. On the way, Sang told Hannah that everyone should be like her because she was such a good singer. When they reached the hospital, Sang told her that the next day was his birthday and asked her to come as he would be waiting. Hearing this, Hannah became very happy. Even though Sang never said it directly, she felt that maybe he liked her too. Later, when Hannah met her grandfather, she became so joyful that she started dancing with him. But her grandfather, concerned, told her that she was becoming thinner every day and needed to eat properly. The next morning, Hannah was getting ready for Song's birthday when a delivery arrived for Hannah, sent by Song. When she opened it, there was a very beautiful dress inside. She put it on, got ready, and went to the party. There, Song asked her to sit beside him, and as she began to sit down, Chori, the president of a cosmetics company and also Song's brother, told Hannah to take off her coat and get comfortable. After she removed her coat, Chori remarked that she was looking incredibly sexy in this country. Just then, Amy also appeared wearing the same kind of dress. Seeing her, Hannah felt embarrassed and walked out of there. After some time, Sang went to the bathroom to freshen up, and Amy followed him there. She asked him why he had given Hannah a dress similar to hers and if he liked Hannah. Sang replied that she should take a look at herself and then at Hannah. He is not crazy, and Hannah wasn't even worth the dust on her shoes. He said Hannah was singing for her image, and if Hannah ever stopped singing, what would happen to his reputation? He explained that they needed to treat Hannah well and take care of her. Meanwhile, Hannah was sitting on a bench, overhearing all this, and crying. After Sang left the restroom, Hannah also walked out and went home feeling extremely sad. Once home, she thought of ending her life by leaving the gas valve open. Just then, her boyfriend, the one who used to call her on the phone, rang and began talking to her sweetly. Because of his words, Hannah canceled her plan and went to meet a doctor the next day. She told the doctor she wanted to become beautiful through plastic surgery, but the doctor refused, saying he couldn't operate on her because she was far too fat and ugly. Hannah then played a recording of herself singing for her phone boyfriend, who was actually this very doctor. Using those recordings, she blackmailed him, saying that if he didn't perform the surgery, she would tell his wife about their conversations. Left with no choice, the doctor agreed. The surgery began the next day and lasted for many hours. The scene then shifted to Min a few months later. Sang was also deeply worried about Hannah's disappearance because he could not launch Amy's new album without her. After several months, Hannah was shown again, now much slimmer. One day, she covered her face with a scarf and went to meet her grandfather, giving him the rice bowl he used to have to ease his loneliness. Finally, the day came when the doctors were ready to remove Hannah's bandages. When they took them off, every doctor was stunned by her beauty. Hannah had transformed into an extraordinarily beautiful woman. Overjoyed, she hugged the doctor tightly and cried with happiness. As she left the hospital, she passed a clothing store and saw the same dress on display, the one she had always wanted to wear. She immediately bought it, put it on right there, and walked proudly through the city. Her face had changed, but her inner nature was still the same. She wore the dress so loudly and dramatically that onlookers thought she was crazy. Wandering around, she ended up in a mall where Sang and Amy were promoting a new cosmetic product. Seeing them, Hannah hid herself quietly. When Sang and Amy left, Hannah followed them. Meanwhile, a delivery boy got distracted by Hannah's stunning beauty and caused an accident. When Hannah went to help him, Sang appeared nearby, so she quickly put on the delivery boy's helmet and ran away. Continuing to follow Sang, she reached a car showroom, but the manager noticed her and asked which car she wanted. Jokingly, she asked if any car was available for just $10. The showroom owner fell in love with her at first sight and immediately gave her a car for $10 only. Looks like pretty privilege is at its peak. Hannah drove off but didn't know how to drive properly and crashed into another car. The angry owner came over shouting, but the moment he saw her beauty, his anger turned to concern. He asked if she was hurt. Two police officers also arrived, looked at her, and asked the same question. Meanwhile, the first accident victim's head started bleeding. His wife panicked and began yelling at the officers, insisting they check Hannah's driving license. When the officers inspected her license, they found her old photo and couldn't believe it was the same person. They took her to the police station and told her to call a friend or relative to confirm her identity so they could let her go. Hannah called Min, but when Min arrived, she mistook another fat girl for Hannah and began asking her about her health, thinking Hannah had only lost weight because she hadn't eaten for many days. Min failed to recognize the real Hannah. Then Hannah came up to Min, took her aside, and showed her the Hakuna Matata tattoo they had gotten together. Min finally realized she was the real Hannah and was shocked by her transformation. Later, they went to a restaurant where Min told her that Sang was desperately searching for her and that Amy's second album was stuck because of her absence. Meanwhile, Sang and his brother Chori were holding auditions for new contestants, trying to find someone to replace Hannah's voice for Amy's album, but none of the artists impressed them. But then Min brought Hannah's demo song to Sang, using the name Jenny. And when Jenny began to sing and the team heard her voice, they were stunned because it sounded exactly like Hannah's voice. Although they are unaware of the fact that it's Hannah, Sang's entire team was very happy, after which Chori arranged a private meeting with Hannah and Sang. In that meeting, Sang told Hannah that she was the same girl who had once said she wanted to become a singer. But Hannah never said such a thing, because Sang was lying to Chori because he wanted to launch Jenny instead of Amy, as Jenny was even more beautiful than her. Before Jenny's launch, they organized a photo shoot and an advertising campaign for a cosmetics company. Meanwhile, Amy couldn't tolerate seeing Jenny take her place, so she went to her grandfather to find out about Hannah. The grandfather didn't reveal anything because his memory was very weak. Amy took Hannah's grandfather to the washroom where she called Sang, but he cut the call. Amy became sad by Sang's changed behavior and remarked that if she were a singer, people would have listened to her. Hannah's grandfather said that God could do anything, while humans could only try. One afternoon, Hannah and Min were lying near a lake, sunbathing, when a boy walked by and whistled. Hannah thought the whistle was for her, but Min immediately walked over. It turned out to be Min's old boyfriend. Later, Hannah visited the doctor because sunbathing left marks on her artificial silicone implants. The doctor warned her not to stay in the sun for more than 3 hours and told her she had changed her appearance, but her nature was still the same. Since she was now beautiful, he advised her to boost her confidence and carry herself with the right attitude. Apparently, even sunglasses wouldn't protect her ego forever. Later, Sang called her to record a song. She sang while dancing playfully, but something about her style wasn't quite right. Sang showed her a video of Hannah singing and asked, "Jenny, can you sing like this?" Jenny scoffed and said Hannah looked ugly. Sang grew angry and said Hannah was very special to him, that Jenny wasn't even worth the dust on Hannah's shoes, and if Jenny was here today, it was because of Hannah. Hearing these words from Sang's mouth secretly made Hannah very happy. When she went home, she told Min everything. Hannah considered telling Sang that she herself was Hannah, but Min warned her never to do that, saying she was no longer natural but artificial. Men were hypocrites. They promoted plastic surgery publicly but didn't want their own women to undergo it because then they stopped being normal and became like masterpieces. Hannah said if Sang loved her, he wouldn't care about her surgery, but Min told her she knew nothing about love. Hannah shot back that if Min knew so much about love, she wouldn't be chasing that salesman who only wanted to sell products under the name of love. After this argument, Hannah went straight to Sang's house for dinner, and in the middle of conversation, she asked him about Korean girls having plastic surgery to look beautiful. Sang didn't reply, and just then he received a call and stepped away with his dog, but the dog ran straight into Hannah's lap, the same dog she had left outside her house before surgery. Later, when Song dropped her home, he spotted a stalker hiding behind a car and returned to confront him. This stalker was taking photos of Hannah and turned out to be the same delivery boy who once caused an accident just by being distracted by Hannah's beauty. He followed her everywhere because he liked her so much. Sang threatened him, but Hannah told Sang to leave him alone, saying that if someone loved you, there was nothing wrong with expressing it, and not everyone was like him. Then she walked away. The next day, Hannah overheard Amy practicing a song while working out, and her voice sounded exactly like a crow. As Amy was leaving, Hannah approached and asked if she was practicing. Amy said yes, and asked if Hannah had a problem, reminding her that she was a singer. Hannah said no, and added that her grandfather used to say God could do anything while humans could only try. Hearing this reminded Amy of something Hannah's grandfather once said, making her suspect Jenny and Hannah were the same person. The following day, as Jenny's first performance was being prepared, she received a call saying Min was in the hospital. Hannah rushed there, and Sang also arrived. Doctors said Min had taken 30 sleeping pills and would sleep for several days like a bear. After this, Hannah went straight to Min's boyfriend's office, entered the elevator with him, and beat him up because he tried to sell a house to Min, which she refused to buy. That was why she broke up with him. When the elevator doors opened, Sang appeared and took her straight to the concert venue, explaining how she needed to perform well. Seeing such a massive audience in front of her made Hannah extremely nervous, but Sang signaled to her and she closed her eyes and sang beautifully. The crowd went wild at her voice, and with just her very first song, Jenny became an overnight sensation. Chori's company shares and sales began to rise rapidly, and fan pages under Jenny's name started appearing everywhere. One night, Hannah was drinking with Sang when they became close and he kissed her, and even tried to touch her, though Hannah stopped him because her doctor had placed her under observation, not exactly the most romantic chaperone. After that night, Hannah thought it best to keep her distance from Sang. Later, when Sang returned home, he noticed the Hakuna Matata symbol on the window that Jenny had casually drawn. The symbol reminded him of a time when Hannah had traveled with him and left her musical notes diary in his car, which carried the same Hakuna Matata mark. As Sang began noticing more and more of Jenny's actions matching Hannah's, he realized Jenny was actually Hannah after plastic surgery, though he chose not to confront her about it. The next day, the company held a party to celebrate Jenny's first album launch. Amy brought Hannah's grandfather to the event because by then she too had figured out Hannah was actually Jenny. Hannah denied recognizing her grandfather, and Sang angrily pulled her aside. When he asked her about the old man, she insisted he was just a fan. Min called her cruel and took the old man away. After the party, Hannah went to meet Sang. He told her to sleep because her performance was the next day. Hannah was shocked when Sang called her by her real name. She tried to convince him that she was Jenny, not Hannah, but Sang reassured her he wouldn't reveal anything. Hannah asked whether Hannah and Jenny were just products to him, things he wanted to use. Sang told her she was only Jenny now and warned her not to cry or it would damage her voice. Hannah replied that she wasn't crying and promised to perform for him no matter what. In anger, she tore down some posters, cutting her hand in the process. When Sang tried to treat it, she said it didn't matter, she'd already taken far bigger cuts on her body for his sake. Hannah had changed herself for Sang, but it didn't matter to him whether she was Hannah or Jenny because he only cared about his company's TRP. The next day, Amy informed the company chairman about Hannah's plastic surgery. The chairman cancelled Hannah's concert to avoid scandal, but Sang refused and insisted Jana must perform at any cost. The chairman threw water on Sang's face, but Sang smashed the glass on the floor and told him never to forget that the company grew because of him. Sang then left with Hannah. At first she refused to perform, but Sang told her he had suspected her identity for a long time and always wanted her to reveal her own voice to the world. He said he had given Hannah a chance and now wanted to give Jenny a chance too. Finally, she agreed to perform. At the concert, the stalker chasing Jenny appeared again, and Hannah's grandfather attended as well. Amy had planned to cause trouble. As the show started, Hannah's grandfather danced in front of the stage, and bouncers tried to remove him, but Hannah stopped them. She apologized to the audience and revealed that he was her grandfather, confessing she was not Jenny, but Hannah. She admitted she used to be very fat and ugly, hiding under stages to sing for other performers, and that she went through plastic surgery so she could stand in front of everyone, sing freely, and be loved by someone. But now, she said, she just wanted to be the old Hannah again. Amy tried to disgrace her by playing old videos, but the audience was deeply moved by Hannah's story. Even the stalker shouted that it didn't matter what she looked like, he loved her, and everyone accepted her. The entire crowd asked her to sing, and she performed a song that won every heart in the room. After the performance, Hannah hugged her grandfather, and Chori even burst firecrackers in celebration. In the days that followed, huge posters of Hannah appeared in stores everywhere. People went crazy for her, and Sang himself began falling for Hannah. And with that, the story of Hannah comes to an end.